Wow. Are you serious? She wants an open marriage because she had to work a job? Guys, is it worth it? They want to rest in their femininity. Just so you can be busting your butt and they're spending all this time on TikTok and social media talking to all types of guys. Oh, it's just a friend. Don't worry about it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. It's not worth it, guys. It's not worth it at all. She wanted an open marriage because she had to work. Hey, man, I just want to say this up front. I never heard of your channel before 2 weeks ago. Crazy thing is, I wasn't even looking for relationship content. I was just scrolling YouTube late one night after work, trying to wind down, and your video popped up. The thumbnail was something like, "Wife asks for a one-sided open marriage after husband's surgery." And I thought, no way. That sounds exactly like my life, but swap out the surgery for a job. And after watching that one video, I ended up binging the channel for hours. It was like someone had turned my entire life into a cautionary tale and uploaded it to the internet. I sat there thinking, damn, I'm not alone. So here I am. My name is Andre. I'm 34. I just finalized my divorce 2 months ago, and I wanted to write in because maybe my story will help someone else before they go down the same path I did. How we met. I met my now ex-wife Naomi at a music festival, and it's back in 2017. I still remember she was wearing this bright yellow sundress and had the most magnetic smile. I offered her and her friends a spot under my canopy because the sun was blazing that day, and she repaid me with laughter, great conversation, and her number. We started texting constantly. That turned into phone calls, which turned into FaceTime, and eventually dates. And you know how it goes. Early stage romance is like a drug. I was hooked. Naomi was sweet, affectionate, very attentive. She'd pack lunches for me, leave little notes in my bag, cook dinner when I had long work shifts, and I honestly thought I hit the jackpot. She told me from day one that she wanted to be a stay-at-home wife one day. I was honest, I wasn't there yet, but I had plans to move up the ladder at work, and she said she believed in me. We got married in 2020, right in the middle of the lockdown. Small ceremony, just family. I thought it was the happiest day of my life. I thought we were building something real. The first couple of years were amazing. We didn't have much, but we had each other. I'd come home from work, and she'd already have dinner ready. We'd cuddle up on the couch, watch Netflix, talk about our future, dream about a house with a backyard and maybe 2 kids. But looking back now, I think she only stayed sweet because she thought her stay-at-home life was just around the corner, like she was waiting for her reward to kick in. At the time, I was working at a logistics company as a lead technician. Good money, but not quite management level. I applied twice for the management program and didn't get in. Something about needing more leadership training. Naomi started getting more and more bitter after each rejection. It was subtle at first. She'd make little comments like, "I thought you said we'd be out of this apartment by now," or "I hate that I have to work when other women get to focus on being feminine." But over time, the tone changed. It wasn't disappointment anymore, it was blame. The complaints begin. Naomi started complaining every day. About work, her boss, the commute, how tired she was. I understood. Work can drain you. But then, she started turning it into something bigger. "You lied to me. I didn't marry you to be stressed out and working every day. Women aren't built for this life. Men are supposed to provide. You're supposed to be protecting me from this." That last one stuck with me. Protecting her from working. Like I was her shield against adult responsibility. She started talking more and more about how she wasn't made to work. She wanted to rest in her femininity. And I'm not going to lie, I want to be that provider for my wife. I want my woman to be at peace. But I was already working full time, overtime some weeks. I just wasn't at a point where I could carry the whole load yet. But Naomi made it clear. If I knew I'd have to work, I wouldn't have married you. She said those exact words. That hurt, man. Real deep. She said I wasn't man enough to make it to management, that she should have waited for someone who had it all together. I started to feel like nothing I did was enough. The home-cooked meals stopped. The little affection went out the window. She was always tired, always too overwhelmed. And then she started talking about this coworker. The coworker. At first it was just a name, Jordan. Then it was a story. Jordan said the funniest thing today. Then it was, Jordan brought me coffee because he knows I've been stressed. Then it was, Jordan thinks it's wild that I'm married and still have to work. He said a real man would never let his woman work this hard. You see where this is going? I asked her directly. Are you feeling something for this guy? She acted shocked, offended. How dare you? And all that. She flipped it on me. You're insecure. Just because I talk to someone doesn't mean anything. But from that point on, I didn't trust her. Not fully. I started noticing she'd hide her phone more, always texting, but quick to turn the screen when I walked by. She started working late a lot, coming home with energy, even after a long shift, but then giving me nothing. Then came the bombshell, the one-sided open marriage proposal. One night, she sat me down on the couch with this "we need to talk" energy. My stomach was already in knots. She said she'd been thinking about something for a while and needed to get it off her chest. Her exact words were, I think it would help if we tried an open marriage. Just me, not you, because I need to feel pursued, loved, and taken care of. And you just aren't able to give me that right now. She said it so calmly, like it was just a business proposal, like she was asking me if we should try a new budget app or start composting. I just stared at her. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I asked, so let me get this straight. You want to sleep with other men because you're tired from work and it's my fault you have a job? She nodded, said she resented having to clock in every day and that I didn't give her the life she signed up for. She said this would be her way of reclaiming her femininity. I didn't argue. I didn't yell. I just nodded and said, okay. The next morning, Tuesday, I took a half day from work and called a lawyer. The lawyer and the snooping. I met with a lawyer named Carl. Older guy, been through the trenches. When I told him the story, he just shook his head and said, you'd be surprised how common this is. He laid out everything for me, how to prepare, what not to do, how to gather documents, told me to be calm, be consistent, and protect myself. That night, Naomi came home like nothing happened, kissed me on the cheek, asked what I wanted for dinner. I didn't say a word about the lawyer. I started snooping. One night while she was in the shower, I opened her phone. She left it unlocked. I went to her messages, then WhatsApp, and that's when I found it. She had a whole group chat with 3 of her friends, women I used to joke with at parties. I read everything. She said, and I quote, if I didn't have to pay half this rent, I'd leave him tomorrow, but since I do, I might as well cheat smarter. She also said, he still doesn't know. That's how weak men are. They complain about women cheating, but won't do anything to fix it. If he was really a man, I wouldn't have to look elsewhere. The part that really broke me. She said, I don't even want to be single. I just want to feel desired again. I'll cheat if I have to, but I'm not moving out in this housing market. I never felt so used in my life. Like a damn crash pad with a paycheck. I couldn't prove she slept with anyone, but the emotional betrayal was loud and clear. And I do believe she cheated physically. I just couldn't catch her. The divorce. I confronted her with everything. I showed her the messages. She started crying. Said she didn't mean it. That she was venting and didn't think I'd see it. that I was twisting her words. Then came the gaslighting. You drove me to this. If you were more ambitious, I wouldn't have been so frustrated. I didn't want to actually go through with the open marriage. I was just testing you. Please. I told her the papers were already in motion. She got real quiet after that, like she knew it was over. She didn't even try to fight me on the separation, just went numb. Her only concern was how much she'd have to pay or whether she'd have to move. Lucky for me, we didn't own property, no kids, no joint business. It was pretty clean cut. Took a couple months, but we signed, split assets, and that was it. She moved back in with her mom. Aftermath. It's been a couple months since the papers were finalized, and I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm thriving yet. I'm still healing. But what I do know is that I dodged a bullet. The woman I thought I married was a mirage. Naomi wanted a lifestyle, not a partner. She wanted security, not love. She wanted a paycheck, not a husband. I didn't fail as a man. I worked hard. I was loyal. I tried to build with her, but you can't build with someone who only sees you as a stepping stone. I'm in therapy now. I've started journaling. I've reconnected with old friends, and I'm working toward that management role. But now it's for me, not to earn someone's femininity. Thank you for giving guys like me a place to share these stories. I used to think men just had to eat this kind of pain in silence, but now I know better. Keep doing what you're doing. Andre's subject. Part 2. She tried to come back after the divorce. Hey again. This is Andre, the guy who wrote in about his ex-wife suggesting a one-sided open marriage because she shouldn't have to work. I didn't expect to write again so soon, but it hit me to write in this part also. I think your audience, especially younger guys, should hear about. Honestly, I wasn't going to say anything more. I figured I'd left everything on the table in my first message, but something happened that made me realize the story wasn't done, at least not for me. Naomi did come back. And no, not to apologize, not to take accountability, not because she missed me. She came back for the same reason she ever showed interest in me to begin with, security. So if you'll give me the space again, I want to tell you the second part of this journey. Not because I need the closure. Trust me, I've already closed the door, but because I handled this situation the right way, and maybe one man out there will hear this and decide not to let his ex crawl back into his life under the same false pretenses that broke him in the first place. 6 months post-divorce. So, like I said in the first email, the divorce was finalized about 2 months ago, but Naomi moved out almost 6 months before that. During that time, I'd been focusing on myself. Therapy, journaling, working on my body, even got a personal trainer. I finally started to sleep through the night again, and for the first time in years, my home felt like peace. I stopped checking her social media. I stopped wondering who she was talking to. And most importantly, I stopped trying to understand why she did what she did. Some things don't have clean answers. Some people just don't deserve your curiosity. I won't lie though. Every now and then I'd still feel a sting, especially when I'd see couples together or when someone at work would talk about their upcoming wedding. I felt like I failed. Even though logically I knew better, emotionally it took time to rewire that feeling. Then one Saturday morning, I got a text from a number that was no longer saved in my phone. Naomi, hey, I know this is random. Can we talk? The first message. My initial reaction wasn't anger. It was actually confusion. I stared at the message for a good 5 minutes before replying with a simple, me. Talk about what? Her response came back quick. Naomi, just life, you, me, everything. I've had time to think. I didn't respond that day. I sat with it. I even called my therapist to ask for some perspective. But she told me, Andre, be honest with yourself. What do you really want from a conversation with her? Because if it's closure, you already have it. If it's revenge, don't waste your energy. And if it's hope, remind yourself why you divorced her in the first place. That stuck with me. 2 days later, I responded, me. We can talk, but only in public. She agreed. We met at a coffee shop we used to go to back when we were dating. The reunion. I'll admit it, when she walked in, my heart rate picked up. She looked almost the same. A little tired around the eyes, but dressed like she was still trying to impress someone. And from the moment she sat down, she went straight into it. First off, I just want to say I'm sorry, she said. I nodded, but didn't say anything. I was selfish. I didn't appreciate what I had. I've had time to really think about how I handled everything, and I regret so much of it. Then she hit me with, I've been dealing with depression, moving back in with my mom. That was humbling. She went on to say her friends aren't really friends anymore, that she stopped talking to Jordan, the coworker, and that no man has ever treated her with as much respect as I did. She even said, I didn't cheat, Andre, emotionally maybe, but physically, I swear to you, nothing happened. Now, I don't know if that's true, and honestly, I don't care anymore. What mattered to me was that she didn't come back because she loved me. She came back because her options ran out. And when I didn't offer her immediate comfort or agreement, her tone started to shift. Don't you ever miss what we had? She asked. I told her the truth. Sometimes, yeah, but I don't miss you. I miss the version of you I thought I was married to. She got quiet. I continued. You didn't want me. You wanted the benefits of being with me. You wanted the lifestyle. And when it didn't come fast enough, you tried to replace me. She tried to interrupt, but I kept going. I'm not mad anymore. I just see things clearly now. You didn't come here to make peace. You came here to see if I still cared. You came here because rent is high and life's hard when you can't emotionally manipulate a man into carrying your burden. Her mouth dropped open. You think that little group chat you had with your friends was private? I read everything. You called me weak for not being okay with you cheating. You said you'd rather cheat better than be single. And now what? You want to hit reset because life humbled you? That was the end of it. She stood up, said, Wow, you've changed. I smiled. Exactly. Aftermath. I haven't heard from her since. That was 2 weeks ago, and I didn't walk away from that conversation feeling bitter. I felt free. I realized something that day. A lot of women don't actually leave men because they hate them. They leave because they think they can upgrade. And when the so-called upgrade doesn't work out, they try to crawl back to the same man they once mocked, hoping he's still naive enough to take them in. What Naomi wanted wasn't love. It was a reset button. She thought her apology would be enough to erase the disrespect, the betrayal, the lies. But forgiveness doesn't mean re-entry, and young men need to hear that. What I've learned. If there's one thing I want the younger guys to take from my story, it's this. Never let a woman disrespect you twice. You don't have to hate her. You don't have to scream or throw things or get revenge. Just draw a boundary and stick to it. I used to think that being a good man meant always being available to the people I cared about, even after they hurt me. But now I know better. Being a good man means having standards and enforcing them. It means being compassionate without being a doormat. It means not confusing a woman's regret with true remorse. It means recognizing that some people only value you when they have no better option. And most importantly, it means realizing your peace is more valuable than anyone's return. Where I am now, these days, I'm working toward that management position again. But now, it's not for anyone else. It's not to prove my worth to someone who couldn't see it. It's because I want it for me. I've started mentoring younger guys at work too. Guys going through breakups, custody battles, or just trying to find themselves. And when I tell them my story, I don't even have to exaggerate. They nod like they've seen versions of it in their own lives. I don't date seriously right now. I'm not closed off to it, but I'm very careful. My radar is sharp. I've learned to listen for key phrases like a man should or I deserve. I look at what they do, not what they say. Because if a woman only respects you when things are easy, she's not going to hold you down when life gets tough. And to any man reading this who's going through something similar, please believe me when I say, if she left you for superficial reasons, she's not coming back for the right ones. If she comes back at all, it's because she's struggling, not because she finally realized your worth. And it's okay to let her struggle. It's okay to move on without her. It's okay to choose you. Thanks again for letting me share this. If it helps even one guy take the blinders off, it's worth it. Stay strong out there, fellas. Andre.